Hello, welcome back to Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm James Palston. I'm joined by Terry McAllister and Owen Parks, and we're here to preview the Arsenal game on Saturday. A lunchtime kickoff, Sean Dyche's first game in charge of Everton. They're top of the league, they're absolutely flying. They're playing some of the best football I've seen an Arsenal team play in a very long time, and it's going to be a really tough game. Storylines are plenty. Dyche, Arteta, the plays that he's going to play. It's going to be a real roller coaster. The protests. There's so much to think about. I think the first thing I wanted to touch on, I'll start with you, Owen. Is I was talking to my mate earlier. And we were trying to sort of guess what he's going to do this weekend in terms of team selection. And I think we all know the back three will probably be Cody, Tarkowski, and Pickford. Coleman will play right back through a lack of any other option. I'm wondering whether we're going to see Ben Godfrey come into the team at left back, maybe even right back. Who knows? Michael Keane's obviously in the conversation again now. All of a sudden, there's a lot of questions to be asked. I think we all think he'll probably play 4-4-2, but kind of what are you thinking he's going to do in terms of the lineup? Because there's probably 3 or 4 unanswered questions. I'd suggest.
I don't know. Loads and loads of people have sent me messages today asking how we're going to play on Saturday, and I don't have a clue. It's such an odd collection of players, really, isn't it? That I don't know. I might be able to give you an answer come the press conference tomorrow, but to be honest, before that, I don't know. I think you say Cody, I'm not 1,000% on that. I think there's other centre backs there who I think he'll like a bit more. I think them all really. I don't know the centre. It'll be James Tarkowski without a doubt. If there's last man standing, then there's him on the pitch on his own. He'll be playing. He's not getting dropped for anyone. But beyond that, I can't tell you. The Calvert-Lewin will be up front. It'll probably be 2 banks of 4, whether it be 1-1, 4-4-2. Someone said 5-4-1. I'm not sure on that, but I think it'll be a version of 2 banks of 4. I think. Whether that be a split striker and a striker, or 2 out and out strikers, I don't know. Don't know who's playing on the wide days. I don't know who the other striker's going to be. Don't know who's going to partner Tarkowski. I don't know who's playing a fullback. Don't know very much other than we'll be relatively direct, probably quite deep. We'll probably kick a few people, and yeah, it'll be a very physical sort of performance, and probably 2 banks of 4. Beyond that, I don't know.
Can you do you think you've got anything to add to that, Terry? Because I mean, I say even the centre back thing. I mean, I imagine it probably will be that 3, but there's Mina, there's Godfrey, there's Keane. You know, he's got other options. The whole case as well. Yeah, we've got millions of centre backs and no strikers. It's a disaster. But what would you any sort of guesses that you go for in particular areas of the pitch?
Well, as Owen says, you don't really know, do you? He's seen a lot of Burnley over the years, a lot of Dyche teams. But when it's your manager and he's been in for a while, you sort of get a feel for what they do and what they won't do and what have you. Whereas when a new manager comes in, everything goes out the window. So players that you've not been seeing suddenly, could come back into the equation. So you could see Decore suddenly starting a load of games. He's been out in the cold. Now, as I said in the previous video, you've got to back him no matter what he does. Like, if he I doubt he will, but if he starts to Tom Davies and Mason Holgate, you've got to just get behind him because he's seen something that he thinks he'll get from them and will work tactically. It's just, you're just not expecting it because the previous regime had made it quite clear that, certain players weren't playing, and I'm sure in the summer, for better or worse, a lot of players are still going out the door. But there's a couple of things I think you can take to the bank just from educated guesses. I actually think, the 4-4-1-1 /4-4-2 will be nailed on. I don't think we're going to play 3 at the back anymore. I think that was a Frank thing. I think it's nailed on that it will be Cody and Tarkowski because those two have played the majority of the season together. They've got the best understanding. They've got the best partnership as a two because Yerry Mina, good defender, but he goes down injured every time he plays. So I just don't think he'll risk him while he's got other centre-backs fit. Godfrey and Holgate, I think, will get minutes the rest of the season, but I think it'll all be a full-back, just assuming there's no injuries. And I think he'll probably lean on, while he's got them, the natural fullbacks. I think Coleman will start. I think Michaelenko will start. And whether if they finish the game like that, or if it goes into the next games like that, is another question. Outside of that, I think the centre of the team is pretty standard. I think it'll be Onana and Idrissa Gueye. Takore might come into his thinking, but it might be further up the pitch. I don't know. And obviously, Calvert-Lewin will start. The real questions are who will start out wide. We've got basically 2-3 options out wide. Iwobi can play out wide, McNeil and Gray, and it could be any combination of those. It could be that Gray plays off Calvert-Lewin. It could be that Mopai plays off Calvert-Lewin. We don't know. He's going to have to take training and see, what will work in his system. His tried and tested system. There's some pieces which fit in that very comfortably, and have played it before at Burnley, like the likes of McNeil and Tarkowski. But there's some things where the width and the second striker are the two real question marks. I think everyone else is going to be fairly as expected.
Yeah, I think in terms of taking things to the bank, I do anticipate Dwight McNeil to play. I know he's not had a particularly good season, and he didn't have a great year at Burnley last season either in terms of output. But I think, as you say, his tried and trusted system, he's going to want to pick players he trusts and players will fulfil the duty, and players that are familiar with the system. I think we'll come on to it now, Owen. It's more intricate, isn't it, than just a 4-4-2 Brexit Togger kind of suggestion that people have. I'm not saying it's anything unbelievable, but there's a lot more to it, and obviously stylistically it could change now. He's at Everton.
No, but all we do is lump it up the pitch. We get on the goal line. We kick out the play. We just break everyone's leg. We have one sending off every week. We don't train. We just throw bricks at each other. And yeah, our only goals are set pieces, and that'll be it. Yeah.
Just drive forklift in training.
Yeah, that's all we do. That gets you 7 years in the Premier League. No, there's a lot more to it. A lot of it's shape work. So about numbers and size of pitches and pressing lines. You'll hear that a lot from Dyche in press conference. Pressing lines, our pressing lines weren't good, our pressing lines were good, etc. You do get a lot of crosses, I imagine, because I think Goodison feeds into a lot of crosses. I think you'll see there won't be as much intricate passing on the edge of the box. I think you'll see midfielders having a crack, for better or for worse. I think you'll see a lot more of that. I think you'll see the ball being cleared a lot higher and a lot further, just naturally because we're deeper. Everyone can come on and message me, and I'll come on here and say sorry if this is the case. But I highly doubt you'll see Jordan Pickford roll it out to Connor Cody, and then back to James Tarkowski, and then back to Connor Cody on Saturday. I don't think you're going to see much playing out at the back,
which is fine. That's fine by me.
I don't think that means it'll be all Route One. I just think it won't be this pedestrian playing out from the back. I think playing out from the back is fine with purpose. Like if the team's drilled and they've got passages of play that support that, because I saw Burnley do it. But Tarkowski's range of passing's really good. I saw them. He always wanted Trippier on the ball when he had Kieran Trippier at Burnley. Well, it's Cody and Tarkowski will be big distribution points for the ball, but it just won't be this crap we saw at West Ham where they're just passing between each other because everyone's hiding and doesn't want the ball. And if you watch the coach's voice 4-4-2, he's saying I want everyone to want the ball. So if people are hiding from the ball, which they have been doing under Lampard, then Dyche will see them and he'll spot them, and they'll be out the team very quickly. When you say Owen though about crosses, what do you think he does with Iwobi? Because off the ball, I think Iwobi on one of the wings will be right up Dyche's street. He'll squeeze the pitch and lock on and to the opposition centre midfielder and what have you. But he can't cross when he's on the ball. That's just not his game. He on the left, if he's inverted with someone going overlapping him, then maybe he could do something. But if he's on the right as an orthodox right-sided midfielder on the ball, he's going to be pretty useless.
Another kind of myth is that we just cross the ball 100 times a game at Burnley. A lot of the time, Jeff Hendrick was played right midfield, and I promise you, he can't kick the ball straight. So he was being deployed on the right a lot for defensive acumen. The one thing I worry about was he was coupled by Matt Lowen, who's got a lovely cross on him, if nothing else. So if Patterson is right back and Iwobi's right midfield, I don't see the issue because Patterson can just get the crosses in. The problem will be, I think McNeil will be up the other side doing it. The problem I have is the full backs can't do it as well, so that might mean we play more than we want in the final third. But as you could see, like a midfield, like if James Garner's playing, he'll drop in there and swing one in. It's not down to necessarily just the wingers. It's more to do with I don't know, getting the angles right more than anything else.
Well, unfortunately,
Burnley, by the way, there'd be different ways of operating, different ways of playing. But at Burnley, he didn't. Jeff Hendrick was off the right sometimes, but Alex Iwobi's miles better than him. But neither can cross. But the right back at Burnley, Glovin, even Phil Bardsley had a decent cross on him. So it was shared out more than it just being the wingers. McNeil was an obvious one. Robbie Brady was an obvious one. But he had like Scott Arfield off the left who couldn't cross either. He was similar to Iwobi. So I think it's more. I think Iwobi will definitely be in there for his calming it down in possession and his off the ball sort of work.
Yeah, I mean, I think incidentally you touched on it there. I think James Garner could be quite an important player when he does come back, and I don't think that's going to be too far away now. But we haven't got too much longer left, so I just want to touch on Arsenal. I mean, I've probably watched them 10, 11 times this season. We've obviously not played them, but I think they've been brilliant. And when you only lose, say, one league game, as far as I'm aware, so far this season, I think that was against Man United. I don't think they played that poorly that day. Where do you think we're going to get a bit of bit of joy? Do you think, Terry, this weekend? Because I say they look super strong all over the pitch.
Honestly, we'll do well to get anything because they're just a much better team than Everton. There's a reason that the league table looks like that. They're better than us in every area. But that's not always how it works. I think the way we're going to get anything out this game is if we're incredibly solid defensively and stop them scoring. And if couple that with Goodison Park bullying Arsenal off the pitch, because there's a reason they haven't won here very much over the years. Now, this Arsenal team is clearly a cut above the previous Arsenal teams who've come and have a lot more character, but they've got to drop points at some games, and I don't think it'd be a shock to anyone that Goodison Park with a new manager bounces somewhere where Arsenal drop points. I just hope it comes to pass like that. We as I worry about where the goals are going to come from. Obviously, a new manager and a new style of play could, produce different results. But defensively is where it's at. We need to try and stop them scoring. They've got quality players everywhere. But if we can frustrate them, then we've got a chance.
Yeah. I saw someone tweet John Dyche's appointment to Everton with his next two fixtures, Arsenal and Liverpool. And he said, these next two games will be the worst two games you've seen in your life. And I think we kind of need a bit of that.
That's fine by me. I'll take a terrible game on Saturday, stop Arsenal from playing. But I think I seem to recall the sort of denouement of the Arteta era where he could have actually been sacked. I believe they got beat at home by Burnley when I think Xhaka got sent off. I can't think of who scored for Burnley. It was from a corner anyway. It was an own goal, was it? Yeah, it's from a corner. I seem to remember. Yeah, so maybe that's a good omen. Who knows? But I say we've not got too much longer left, so I think we'll just kind of look to wrap it up and see how do you think the result's going to end up in the end there. What do you think the score will be if you had to make a prediction?
I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to go 0-0.
I was thinking 0-0 or a score draw.
That's like a positive sort of spin on it. I don't know how much we've been able to do so quickly, but a positive sort of mix. I'll go 0-0. I could easily see a 0-0.
Well, that'd be a great result. I mean, I think we'd all take that now, but yeah.
that have been the moments I've been waiting for all my life, and 0-0 at home under Dyche.
Yeah, exactly. That's what life's worst leading up to. Terry, how do you see the result going?
So I'm going to go for an optimistic 0-0. I'd fight your hands off for it now. It'd be such a boost. You know, blocks flying in everywhere. Some top shithousery taking ages to take goal kicks and throw-ins and everything, and corner flag shenanigans and everything. I'd love it.
Even
The one,
blocked on a goal kick.
the one positive about this is this like snowballs and we end up doing well for the next few years. We're going to fucking wind some fan bases up when we go to their ground. The fume on Twitter after the game when we've been there will be incredible. But they weren't bothered about Burnley, but Everton doing it. Wow. They were bothered. Everton doing it will exacerbate the fume, I feel.
Yeah.
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. I think that's the best case scenario, to be fair. But I think we're all going for a very positive 0-0, which is some sentence, but that is fine by me. I say we'd all take that right now. I'm sure pretty much everyone watching would. But that's us looking ahead to Arsenal. Let us know what your thoughts and how you think we're going to get on in Saturday's game. But otherwise, please like and say obviously subscribe if this is the first video you've seen. And yeah, we'll see you next time on the Toffee Blues. Thank you very much.